Hello everyone and welcome to the first video in Pandaween 2021. I am so excited for Pandaween. I'm always excited for Pandaween. If you guys didn't know, Halloween is my favorite holiday. So I've got us all ready here today. I have my ghost cup. Very cute, very cute. I've got my favorite pumpkin vanilla cream candle burning to get into the Halloween spirit. I've got my whole Halloween outfit going on today, so I am ready and excited for this video. Today we're gonna be kicking things off with a Halloween lost media video wherein I will be talking about various pieces of Halloween themed lost media. Before I jump into things, I just wanted to let you guys know about my Pandaween 2021 merch line. Every year for Pandaween, I do a cute and spooky merch drop, so here is this year's design. I'm very happy with it. This is a little drawing of a ghost that I drew and I thought it came out super cute. If you want to snag this line, it comes in hoodies, it comes in sweatshirts, it comes in t-shirts, and I have it both in black and in white. If you are interested in checking it out, I will have a link on screen to where you can find it in my merch shop, and I'll also have a link down in the description to check it out. All of that out of the way, let's get into it. This is 4 pieces of Halloween themed lost media. So our first piece of Halloween lost media is It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which really needs very little introduction. It's a 1966 Halloween special in the Peanuts cartoon series, and it also happens to constitute as lost media. Now you might be wondering, how is that the case? Because the actual movie is not lost, and that is true. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, the special, is not lost, but what is lost are the original soundtrack recordings of several musical pieces from the film. For most of the songs in the special, the original recordings were never released, so if fans wanted to listen to these various pieces of music, the only way to do so would be to actually lift them directly from the special itself, which poses a problem because you have pieces of dialogue and also sound effects overlaid over top of the song, so you can't really properly listen to it. Back in 2018, a record company called Kraft Recordings claimed that they would be releasing an original soundtrack from the film, so a lot of fans were excited for that, but this unfortunately ended up being very misleading because this soundtrack release was exactly what I just talked about. It was literally just the pieces lifted directly from the film, so you still had dialogue and sound effects over top of these songs. And this is very unfortunate because there are several pieces of music that fans really want to be able to hear and properly appreciate, but the sound effects are very, very intrusive. The best example of this is the song Breathless, which takes place when Snoopy is pretending to be a World War fighter pilot. The piece of music can't properly be heard because there are all these intrusive war sound effects that really drown out the music. So it's very unfortunate for fans who want to listen to these pieces of music. At this point, unfortunately, many believe that the original soundtrack recordings will never be released and are completely lost. Hopefully this is not the case, but at this point, there's really no proof otherwise. Next up, we have the Halloween Goodwill commercial. On May 21st, 2021, Lost Media Wiki user Darren L. posted on the Lost Media Wiki forums about a Goodwill commercial they remembered from their childhood. According to them, they had contacted Goodwill about this commercial, contacted local television stations about the commercial, and also checked on YouTube for footage of it, but all with no success. Regarding the details of the commercial, Darren L. describes the following. The commercial was for Goodwill, not sure if it was local or international. We saw the commercial in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area. The commercial aired between 2002 and 2010. I believe it ran just for a few years, but I don't recall which few years within that range. The commercial was stop-motion animation, I believe. It featured little straw witches and mummies, I think, marching possibly in a house. At one point, I believe their shadows fell upon the wall looking huge and spooky. I also remember that at one point, a little straw witch without a face was raising and lowering her arms as if conjuring up something. She may have had a broom or something in her hand. Finally, I remember that the music was appropriately dramatic and spooky and had an orchestral vibe to it, like strings and such. They then go on to explain that it was definitely weird, choppy stop-motion animation kind of thing. I remember the witch that appeared to be conjuring had no face, just straw like it was a scarecrow. And the marching mummies or zombies had their arms straight out like they were Frankenstein. It was creepy and spooky, but mesmerizing. Darren L. eventually discovered that the commercial was made by animator Frank L. Anderson. And after getting in touch with Mr. Anderson, Darren L. was able to confirm that the commercial was produced in 1999 for Goodwill in Wisconsin and ran for several years. Mr. Anderson was also able to confirm that Darren L.'s recollection of the commercial was completely accurate. So is this the conclusion to this search? Unfortunately, it's not, because at this point, Frank L. Anderson does not actually have a copy of the commercial. And at this point, that is unfortunately where this search ends, with no new leads or developments being made since June of 2021. Next up, we have Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. This is the 5th installment in the famous Halloween horror movie franchise and was originally released in 1989. So just like with It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, you may be thinking, how does this constitute as lost media? Because obviously the film is readily available and you can easily watch it. Well, just like with It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, it's not the actual film that is lost, but rather bits of it that are. Currently, there are 5 scenes that were originally cut from the film that are no longer available to the general public. This is due to heavy censorship by the Motion Picture Association, which requested numerous reshoots for the film so that the film could maintain its R rating. Now online you can find summaries of what happens in these scenes. I will not be describing them here so that I don't get demonetized, but if you are interested, I will have references down below and you can check them out in the description. So since 1989, when the film was released, these scenes have remained lost, but in 2019 there was an interesting development to this story. Pictures of the original master tapes from the film were posted online, and many thought that this was a sign that the scenes were going to be released, and a lot of people got really excited about this. However, this ended up not being the case because currently no stills or footage from those master tapes have made their way online. So unfortunately, these 5 scenes still remain lost to this day. So finally, we're gonna be ending things off on a very qualitative note, if you will. If you will, I don't think anybody would actually say qualitative note. But anyway, we've talked about very famous, very well-made movies like It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown and Halloween. And to wrap things up, we're going to be talking about yet another masterpiece of a film, which is Elf Bowling 2: The Great Halloween Pumpkin Heist. So to preface this, Elf Bowling the movie is a movie that was released in 2009 and was based off of the Elf Bowling video game series. As you can imagine, Elf Bowling is not really that deep. It's literally just a virtual bowling game where instead of using pins, you use elves. It's supposed to be this, Christmas-themed bowling game. So when it came to making a movie adaptation of it, it didn't go so well. This movie was panned by critics and audiences. If you're curious about what the movie was actually about, I have the summary from Amazon Prime that describes it as, when Santa's half-wit brother kidnaps the elves, Santa and his super elf Lex team up to save the day. Based on the popular computer graphics game, this animated tale is full of pirates, penguins, and legendary heroes in a magical adventure perfect for the whole family. Fun fact, this had Tom Kenny in it, who is the voice of SpongeBob. Feel very bad for him. He probably does not like to talk about this movie. So what about the Halloween-themed sequel to this film and how it constitutes as lost media? So in 2007, a trailer for the film was released online, and at the end of the trailer, there was a little teaser for a sequel, which was called Elf Bowling 2: The Great Halloween Pumpkin Heist. It was said in the trailer that it would be released in fall of 2007, but fall of 2007 came and went and the movie was never released. At this point, no footage or stills from it can be found anywhere online. All there is the little teaser, which didn't actually show anything from the movie, unfortunately. More likely than not, the film was canceled due to the poor reception of the first film, which makes total sense, but you have to understand that at this point, they would have made at least some amount of headway on the film. So somewhere out there, parts of this film exist. They were just never released and are at this point not available to the general public, making it lost media. However, that's probably for the best. This isn't a very hot lost media search. I don't think anybody's really dying to see Elf Bowling 2. So it is lost media, and usually lost media is kind of a sad thing because, people want to be able to watch whatever it is, but they can't. But in this case, I feel like we were saved. I feel like this is a piece of media that can stay lost. So there you have it. Those are 4 pieces of Halloween lost media. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me for this first installment in Pandaween 2021. I will be coming out with more Halloween-themed videos as the month goes on. Again, if you are interested in snagging my Pandaween 2021 merch line, I will have a link in the description as well as on screen here for you to go and grab one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all next time. But until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!